We be live. Hello, everyone. Let us know if you have audio.
Hello.
Hello. That's cute. That's cute. I love the way you say hello. It's so cheery. It just sets the right mood. I don't know. I love it. Let us know in the live chat if. Oh, yep. There we go. Music guy is confirming that the audio is good. We're going to be covering the news on atheism, religion, politics, secularism, mostly religion. Today, you told us 2 days ago that today a lot of the news is going to be from India, huh?
Yes, the majority of the news this week is from
Mhm.
India. Because I don't like most of our best news suggestions are from India. Um
Hmm.
so
What's
guys,
happening?
if you're like, "Ugh, I don't like the news that they're covering." Well, you know what? You can help change that by joining our Discord, link in the description below, and putting in our we have a channel there called News Suggestions that I look at every week, many times throughout the week, and
Right.
help pick the stories. So if there's something you want us to cover, put it there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like very interesting. That's a very good point because a lot of people are like, how come you didn't notice this? Like we provide you an opportunity to be part of the solution, and you just sit back and you complain. You could like be part of the change. You know what I mean? Like you want to see happen. Like you can't just like people just sit back and just like, oh, why you didn't notice this? Well, you had the opportunity to bring this to our attention and you didn't. So maybe you are the problem that's why we didn't notice it. Oh, Babak is here.
Surprise guest appearance. Babak is
Oh,
here. What is
oh, yeah.
Babak doing here? What
Hi,
time is
Babak.
it?
Somebody is calling me in a pervert in the live chat. I
True.
never. It's true. Like, yeah, why do you act like that is like insult, like proudly slow, like this? Yeah. Anyways, oh, Twitch is good too. This is great. We have our Twitch people. Hi, Forever Stormy. Thank you for confirming Twitch is working. Okay, cool. Oh, by the way, Ghost Bunny was also being very sweet, saying, "Look at this. This is so. I love it." Okay. All right. Um. Okay, this is so funny. Brother Ben is saying, "Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. We can start now." Good to know, Brother Ben. We wouldn't
No,
have
he does that
never.
for every stream. You haven't noticed?
I know. It's fantastic. I love it. It's so funny. Like we can't start without Brother Ben. Okay,
Babak
can
is awake
we?
at 4 a.m.
Oh,
Babak,
go to
as a
sleep, Babak.
host of Atheist Republic Persian, we need you to get your sleep, okay?
Yeah. Anyways, we should get started with the news. That was okay. Can we um can we clap for the first news?
Um. Oh yeah. Well, it's not something we support, but let's clap because it's the first news. Okay.
Okay, first news.
First news. Uh, Indian ex-Muslim arrested for blasphemy and criticizing Islam. On December 29th, Anish Jasi, a well known Tamil ex Muslim atheist with a large social media following, was arrested by police in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. Anish posted a meme comparing the Prophet Muhammad with Anna Purani Arasu Amma, a self proclaimed God woman. In the caption, he pointed out that Muslims readily agree that this God woman is ridiculous, but failed to realize that the Prophet Muhammad's claims were similarly ridiculous 1400 years ago. He was charged under the Indian Penal Code for, quote, deliberate and malicious acts meant to outrage religious feelings, promoting enmity between different groups of religion, race, place of birth, etc., and, quote, making statements relating to public mischief. The organization Ex Muslims of India reported that his application for bail was rejected twice, and they speculate that Islamists were behind his arrest, as he was recently threatened with being sent to jail during a public discussion on the social audio app Clubhouse.
Man, only in India you could get both oppressing Muslims. Wait, where was this?
In Tamil Nadu in South India.
Yeah, okay. So like the worst combination. Not like instead of protecting Muslims, you're protecting Islam, and also you're oppressing Muslims. Oppressing Muslims and defending
Oh,
Islam instead of Muslims at the same time. Like that's the unbelievable, right? Like Like, I wish instead of defending Islam, they were defending Muslims in India that in this aggressively.
What I think
Um.
is really ridiculous and particularly telling is that the complainant in the police reports against him are the actual police themselves. So think about how ridiculous it is that it is the police going after this man themselves. It's not like someone went to the police that we know of and then reported him and then the
Oh
police
wow.
got involved. The police are named as the complainant against him. Now, the reason why it's suspected that Islamists are involved with this is one, because of the threats that he's been faced with before, and different news outlets that have spoken with his friends. His friends are alleging that they think that Islamists have gone to the police and then they didn't want their name to be on the complaint. So then they got the police basically to file it on their behalf. These are allegations. And what's really interesting in particular is that according to his wife and his friends and what they've said to local media is that he was arrested on false pretenses. So the police showed up to his house and told him that they needed to talk to him and that he needed to come to the station, but it didn't have to do with him. It had to do with like a colleague or someone that he works with. They needed to ask him questions. And then he was not heard of for like 10 days. And because they're like, oh yeah, we just need to talk to you for like 10 minutes. And then they like can't get a hold of him for 10 days until finally like people start to get involved and really dig in to find out what happened to Anish. Like, where is he? And I have seen some people on Facebook, like in the groups that I'm involved in, saying that he was granted bail like within the past few days, but I can't verify that at all. Okay, that's just something I've heard. So I hope that's true, but I really have no way to verify that.
What was his blasphemy again? The meme that he posted?
Well, if you scroll down, we actually posted it and then we posted translations.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Wow. Look at us go.
So wait, scroll
Which
back
one?
up to the picture of the woman.
Oh, okay.
So here, basically it's this picture of this god woman that I was talking about. And the loose translation, wait, let me pull it up on the my side, is like basically, Islamists, don't you guys think what this woman is doing is funny to you? Didn't like Prophet Muhammad do the same thing 1400 years ago? So and then if you scroll down a little bit more, you see the other meme that was also included in the police report against him, or that's what's being reported. And so the translation of this meme is basically the Muslim saying, Christians are making disgusting comments towards Islam. Something needs to be done about it. And then the ex-Muslim is saying, I'm ex-Muslim. Even I'm disgusted by your Quran and Hadith.
Right.
And
this is what he gets arrested for?
Yes, for just like criticizing Islam.
For posting memes.
Yes.
Amazing. In India, you could get India, you could get arrested for posting memes. Oh my god. This is the world's largest democracy, everyone. The world's largest secular democracy arrests you. The police, without anyone complaining, just shows up and I mean, as far as we know, you said it could be other ways. The police just shows up and just takes you. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I don't know why you're acting surprised. Like, this was the exact same basis of all the police reports filed against you. He was some of the charges filed against him are under 295A, which is exactly what you were hit with, Armin, for basically also a meme. I mean, what are you talking? Why are you surprised? We have a court case right now with Twitter, and they're coming after our memes.
Okay, but we can't we have to still remain surprised. Okay, I refuse to not be surprised by people being arrested for goddamn memes. Like, I will always be surprised. Okay, even if this keeps happening for another 1,000 times and we keep reporting it here, I will not let this be normalized in my head. Okay, this should be shocking. Again, and it's especially in a country that is supposed to be a secular democracy. Like, look at this defensive attitude here. Don't blame Hindus for that. We didn't even mention Hindus. We're talking about the police Like, did we?
What does this have to do with Hindus? This has nothing to do with Hindus.
We did
Hindupa,
we?
Susanna, you need to get a grip. Get a grip.
Calm down. Like,
this isn't about you.
not everything in India is about Hindus. This is specifically about like Muslim, like ex-Muslims and Muslims and Islam. So I don't understand. What are you talking about? Look how defensive you are. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Wait, so I was trying to post. So there's a petition that was circulated to drop the charges against him, and I tried to post it in the chat, but for some reason it looks just absolutely crazy. Let me see if I can find a better link. So yeah, people have started a petition to have him released. Although at this point, I have heard some rumblings that maybe he's released. Again, I can't confirm that, but also to drop the charges against him. Rudresh is saying MK Stalin's father. So MK Stalin, I believe, is the current chief minister of Tamil Nadu, and he's literally named after like the Stalin. Just like, by the way, like actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
So anyways, this is like I can't remember his position in government, but correct me if he's not the chief minister. So anyway, Rudresh is saying MK Stalin's father, Karunanidhi, openly blasphemed against Lord Ram and got into controversy. The current DMK party in Tamil Nadu always has a soft spot for Abrahamic religions. Interesting.
Good to know. Secular Rarity saying bold baby name.
Yes. No, I think, isn't his first name actually like Joseph? Like he's actually fully named after him? I don't know. I remember my friends from India sending me that, and I was like, what the? Yes, he is the chief minister. Look at me knowing some things.
Yes, it's impressive. Oh yeah, by the way, Dee was mentioning that she heard that he's freed right now, so we haven't confirmed that yet, right? We don't know.
We don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure. Okay.
But guys, if you go check out the article that we wrote, the link for that is in the description. Because the petition wasn't working for some reason when I tried to post it here, you can find the petition in our article. Like I said, because I think it is absolutely patently insane that Indians are being like persecuted for criticizing a religion from which they formerly belonged in. This is part of their rights that should be protected under Indian law. They have a right to self-expression. Not to mention the fact that this is particularly interesting coming from South India, where there is such a strong tradition in history of criticism and rejection of religion and rationalism. And so to see someone who's an atheist and a rationalist being, the police going after him for something like this it's worrying.
Right. Good thing that you noticed this. Oh, here. Okay, no, we're not going to highlight that because it's not. We have to move on from the story. All right. Can we clap for the next news?
I don't think we should. This is not a good thing.
Okay. Do we have good stories this week?
Yes, we do. We do.
Good. All right. Next news.
Entry prohibited to non-Muslim. Wow. Okay, sorry. I'm very dyslexic. I'm going to rewind. Okay.
That's fine.
Entry prohibited to non-Hindus posters erected at the Ganges River. In India, in early January, discriminatory posters were found along the Ganges River in Varanasi, India, that read in large text, quote, entry prohibited to non-Hindus. The body of the poster said that the stairways that go directly into the river and the temples along the Ganges are symbols of, I don't know why I have a hard time saying this, Sanatan Dharma, or which is also just known as Hinduism, and that only those who have faith and belief in Sanatan Dharma are welcome. It was concluded, the posters concluded in large text, quote, "This is not a request, but a warning." Varanasi police identified Ranjan Gupta and Nikhil Tripathi, members of the hardline right-wing Hindu groups Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal, respectively, as the perpetrators. Pirathi stated to reporters, quote, "Non-Hindus violate the purity of the ghats," which are the stairways that go into the river. "That is why this warning has been issued to them." They were detained for, quote unquote, breaching the peace, and police have launched an investigation. The posters were removed by the police with the help of volunteers.
Okay, so the police did the right thing here, right? They're just like,
Yes.
you can't just show up and be like, we own this place. Like it's a river. Like it's a part of like, oh my god. Just like how do people like it, only religion gives you this amount of audacity. I mean, not only, I shouldn't be so
That's not
absolutist, but
true. For me, as an American, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, they're just going like full like segregation, like full Jim Crow. Except it's
okay,
like
that's why
obviously not
correct.
state sanctioned. It's just
Yeah.
they're trying to enforce it. But it is
But
segregatory.
yeah, but just imagine thinking that you have the right to just show up and declare this public place. Like you're not, these people are not part of the government, right? They're like, you're just you're just people. And you're just showing up and like, yeah, you can Muslims can't show up here. Like, excuse me, who are you? Like who elected you? Like how, with what authority are you coming here and just like enforcing this? Like but it's good like that it was like stopped. Like did they imagine? Okay, so yeah, so this is, guys, this is why there's hope for India still. Even after everything, there's some hope for India. You can't just like, you know, the police are like, yeah, I mean, we have like we're still somewhat secular. It can't just be like Muslims, you know, people can't show up here because of their religion. It's unbelievable. How did they assume that they could get away with this?
Just the gall, the audacity. Well, and probably because in many ways, I mean, it depends on where you are in the country, but these
Right.
gangs are very emboldened in many
Yeah,
ways.
which state is this?
I can't remember off the top of my head what state Varanasi is in. Give me a second.
If it like, do you think like this would be like they would get support from the police if it was in Uttar Pradesh instead of this one?
Well, this actually is in
Oh
Uttar
my god.
Pradesh.
Oh wow, it is in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, well that's okay. This is in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so that's good. Even in Uttar Pradesh, which is the worst possible state when it comes to secularism in India, you could still expect the police to be like, that's too far. Like we can't just declare this place, you know, a no Muslim area or a no only Hindu area, right? So that's pretty good. No, like, okay,
Yeah.
people are saying, of course, it's Uttar Pradesh. Okay, people expect this to be Uttar Pradesh because of the activity of these people. Okay, I'm saying, look at this. I'm actually seeing this as a glass half full rather than a glass half empty, because I'm like, I'm happy that we could at least rely on the police to still, you know, have, you know, do the right thing, right?
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting because this sort of like attempt actually violates the Indian constitution. Because so this is a quote from the Logical Indian, which I tend to like a lot of the writing on this site. Quote, apart from this, Article 15 of the Indian Constitution states no citizen shall, on the grounds only of race, religion, caste, place of birth, sex, or any of them, be subject to any liability, restriction, condition, or disability with regard to, quote, A, access to shops, public restaurants, places, and hotels of public entertainment, or quote, B, the use of tanks, wells, roads, bathing ghats, which is exactly what this is, and the places of public resort maintained wholly or partly out of state funds dedicated to the use of the general public.
Wait a second. Are the temples used? Are state funds used to maintain the temples at all? Because based on if that's in the constitution, shouldn't the Muslims be able to just walk into Hindu temples?
That's a good question, actually.
Of course, all my questions are good questions.
I remember seeing I can't give you a clear answer because I remember seeing this kind of like meme that's a chart usually put forward by more Hindu hardliners that shows the different restrictions on churches and mosques versus temples, and how there's a lot of hypocrisy in the state's secularism in terms of how these different faith institutions are treated. So I think that and one of the things had to do with public funding. I just can't actually remember the specifics right now.
All right. Wait, let's highlight some of these.
Katie is saying that the blue text in the picture of the thumbnail, so on the site, that means here, translates to Muslims are prohibited here. Wow.
Wow. Directly. Okay, so it's this. They're like being more specific. Like non-Hindus are not allowed here, and we mean Muslims. We're specifically mean, like, they're not even hiding it. Like, okay, specifically talking about Muslims. Unbelievable.
It's interesting. One of the reasons why this happened, or according to the Bajrang Dal like people, is that there were videos circulating online of people like eating food or maybe even drinking beer like on the stairways that go into the river, and so they were super offended by this and saying that they're like defiling the holiness of the river, and that non-Hindus make it dirty, and that this isn't a picnic spot. And if you're going to treat this as a picnic spot, like, we will remove you. Again, this is a warning.
Let's speak YouTube, by the way. If you want to strike us for saying these things, we're just telling what other people are saying. We're against it. We're not. These are not our views. Okay. By the way, the river is dirty, but for other reasons. It's amazing how
that's what's kind of ironic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if I was ever allowed in India, which I don't think I am anymore. I mean, I am, but like, I would probably not regret going there. But like, I would like, if I go visit the river, I would probably never step in it. Like, I would, like, it's ridden with disease and pollutions. Like, it's amazing how when you the river is supposed to be sacred, but because it's sacred, it actually is now extremely polluted and dirty, right? Like, rivers that are not sacred are treated a lot better than rivers that become holy and sacred. They're anyways.
Well, the Ganges, that's a complicated issue. It's not purely because a lot of people put like remains into the water that it's polluted. Like, that's part of it. But at this point, a lot of it comes from industrial waste and mismanagement, or the industry like patently not complying with the government mandates about what they're supposed to do with the water.
Good point. Okay, good point. A lot of the pollution is not because of religion, but given the pollution, a lot of people going into the river and exposing their body to that pollution is because of religion, right?
Yeah.
If it was okay, there we go. So what the second comment from Katie?
Sorry, I just saw a funny comment. Katie is also saying, a few days ago in Varanasi, a Muslim guy with bipolar disorder was beaten up and forced to lick his own spit from the streets, and the video was circulated online. Yes, I did see that. He was forced to shout Jai Shri Ram as well. A lot of people were sending me that. Katie is saying, do not step in the river. I see people happily throwing the sacred water from that river to each other and wonder, do they not see that pollution right in front of their eyes?
Yeah. And,
it's not as bad as I mean, it is bad, but I remember a few weeks ago we reported that one of the tributaries, the Yamuna, remember how we talked about how it was like frothing? It looked like it was like part of a glacier or the Arctic because of how much froth and foam was created from like the industrial waste.
Yeah, I saw.
And there were still people like jumping around in there. I was like, what? That can't be good for you.
Also, a lot of people don't do the cremations properly. Apparently, like, I don't know how big of a deal that is. But because of like not having enough wood, the cremations are not done to the full, and they end up, instead of throwing ashes into the river, they start ending up throwing body parts into the river. So there's that. I don't know how big of a deal that is, but I remember reading something about that story. Anyways,
Well, there was also
yeah.
the issue of, well, how can I talk about this
Oh yeah,
when YouTube was sensitive? Um,
exactly. Music Guy is highlighting this as well.
yes, that happened, and during the height of the, well, one of the really big peaks of the disease that was going around, there was this huge expose on how the government was trying to cover up the fact that there was just dozens and dozens and dozens of bodies that were being put just like straight into the river, and the government
Yeah.
was trying to hush it up.
Imagine going into the river for religious reasons and someone's like body part shows up and rubs against you. It's like
Oh my god. Ah! Because when you're swimming in a river, like I've had this experience before, and you unexpectedly feel like a little seaweed,
yeah,
like rub on your leg. You're like, what was that?
yeah. But imagine it's like some human bones rubbing against you. Anyways.
Oh my goodness.
Can we clap for the next news?
Yes, this is just pretty funny.
Okay, good. Next news.
Next news. Indian Muslim cleric issues fatwa. No music at weddings. On January 5th, Muslim clerics at the Jama Masjid in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district in India, uh, these clerics issued a fatwa against playing music at any function, be it marriage, funeral, or any other occasion. According to the fatwa, individuals who will defy the rule will need to publicly apologize during Friday prayers and pay a fine. If a cleric visits such a house, he will be penalized as well. Local BJP leader Yudhirv Sethi, in an interview with the Times Now, questioned, quote, why do they have a problem with those who work as a DJ and earn a living? This newest fatwa also prohibited the banging of drums, not just for musical accompaniment, but even when trying to scare away animals.
Where are they getting this from? And also, why specifically at weddings?
So that's what was kind of funny. They were saying that like they will not grant a nikah like if
Mhm.
there's music at the wedding. There's like if there's wet music, no nikah. Like, no nikah for you.
Again, this is like where in India is this? Like this
In
is like
Jammu and Kashmir.
how much enforcement power does this guy? Like obviously this is like just they're enforcing this only on the Muslim community, right? Like and their Muslim community, not every Muslim community. The people that are
Yeah.
part of their whatever group they are at, right? We can is this kind of like shouldn't this be cracked down on? Like, you're kind of creating like laws within like a two-tier system. Like they're like kind of like have an enforcement body of like how people are supposed to operate. Like I don't know. I feel like this
You
is
mean like
seems
in
to
terms
be
of like kind of in France, like the separatism issue?
yeah. Like why do people's like if you're in India, right? Um, you shouldn't like if you have a large group of people, all of a sudden their lives are being affected by these people who are not the government. Like I just think like you're building a two-tier system with two separate laws for a separate group of people. I mean, how big of a deal are these people? Like, is this like a big group, a big Islamic group? Like, how far? Like, is this a fatwa that is supposed to affect how many people? How many people will follow this?
That's a good question. That's not something that I was really able to get a sense of during the research I was doing for this story.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
what
sorry, I'm
I
asking very specific questions.
Yeah, I mean they do say that that this is definitely something that they're going to be enforcing on their own community. Like I said, like if you're seen to be playing music at one of these functions, then you're going to have to apologize in front of the community. If a cleric or some religious figure, attends one of these occasions where there's music playing and officiates in any capacity, like they're going to have to issue an apology as well and like pay a fine and be penalized. Um, so
You,
it's just inter-community policing.
It's really, what's great, Susanna? Our job is so easy. Like, we don't really have to say much, okay? Like, how do you not see that you're like, again, where's the meme? Are we the baddies? I should have that ready, okay? Like, what do you think people? What does that say about you? When you're against music in weddings, like, and do we need to add like any commentary on that? Like, you're you're not you're taking people's like a celebrate like the most festive celebratory event, and you're like, no music there, right?
Yeah.
Like, like, you're against fun, you're against, like, the entire world will look at that, like, other than the people who have bought into your cult, right? They were like, you're against music, and specifically during a time when it's supposed to be the most festive event of someone's lives, right? You just like, who would, like, even most Muslims will look at that and be like, screw you guys, right? Like, not it's not just the most of the world; it's also most Muslims, right? And all we have to do is just like, oh yeah, these Muslims are against this group is against music, especially at weddings, and that's all you need to know. We don't need to tell you much, about how bad. And again, I do want to know how many people's lives are affected by these groups of people. Like, if they have this much authority to decide that whether or not you play music at your wedding, imagine all the other ways that they could screw with your life. Like,
Hmm.
how much, it's just like, I don't know. And India, a lot of people don't keep. We have to remind people that India's Muslim population, even though it's a minority, it's like, I don't know. Is it the third largest or fourth largest Muslim population in the world? Is it the third or the
I
fourth or
think it's the third. It's
right?
actually either the second or the third.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how the number one, um, two, and three, and I think four. Is it four? Is four Egypt? I don't know, but at least one, two, and three most populated, most um, largest Muslim populations in the world are all out of the Middle East, right? We have, I think,
I know,
Indonesia,
isn't that interesting?
yeah, India, and Pakistan, I guess, yeah. But yeah, so
Um,
when we're talking about rulings like this affecting Muslims in India, you have to understand this is like, yeah, when we say a minority population in India, we're talking India. India is like, everything is like extra large, okay? Everything is big, okay? So we're talking about millions and millions of people's lives being affected by just like somebody deciding like, music bad, no music at weddings. They're like, oh, haha, that was stupid. That's like, these people are anti-fun, anti-music. But like, you have to remember, like, it shows the level of influence that just these groups have on millions of people's of lives. Like, even if this specific group doesn't have an effect on millions of Muslims in India, there are like there are many of these groups in India. Again, I don't know how influential. Yeah, here, look at
yeah, I
this. The
mean, so
captain.
this is from like one specific district in
Yes,
Jammu and
yes,
Kashmir. So like
I know.
hopefully their influence is, I mean, it's not great if even if their influence is over that district, but like hopefully it is um a lessened influence, right? One thing that I thought was interesting is this fatwa also included a prohibition on the groom demanding dowry from the girl's family, which is my understanding that that's already illegal in India, anyways. Uh, and then like I said, the prohibition on playing music or indulging in fireworks at the wedding. No fireworks either. Um, there was this comment by a BJP leader that, as much as I did think that this was kind of funny, I don't know. Let me know what you think of this. So, like I said, BJP leader Yudhurveer Sethi wondered why fatwas are not issued to ensure that the children of Jammu and Kashmir, quote, drop guns and pick up laptops and obtain an education and earn well. Why do they have a problem with those who work as DJs and earn a living?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, on one hand, I
Defend.
thought it was kind of funny because, like, he's like, why are they coming after these people's livelihoods, right? Why do they have a problem with their job? Like, we all got to work a job in this economy. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. And then
What about what
with the
about
dropping
those?
guns and picking up laptops, it's kind of like, characterizing it that Muslim children are. I mean, it's
They
particularly contentious in Jammu and Kashmir. That they just like have guns all the time. I don't know.
I think you should introduce these clerics to those electronic music that they take the hadith, part of the hadith, and they make like techno. I don't know, not techno. Like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like they take a part of a recitation of a hadith. I didn't even know, by the way, that they recite hadith until I heard this. Right? I thought they were okay, but a recitation, like a musical part of a recitation of hadith, and they just like make it modern and electric music. Like if they get exposed to that, they were like, okay, this is good. Maybe like this
Are
is
you
like
thinking of that song that Rihanna got in trouble
yes,
for having in her
yes.
fashion show?
Thank you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That was pretty cool. Okay, and you could
Yes.
also take some. Yeah, so maybe.
But that's not
I mean,
Islamic at all.
I know they would hate it, but I'm just kidding. They would actually hate it. They would actually hate it more than regular music. But I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing them like they're like, no music. Music is bad. Music is haram. And then you're like, well, what about this? And you play it to them, and they're like, oh my! I never enjoyed listening to hadith more than this. Maybe they will change their entire. Maybe it will just change their entire ideology at the spot. I don't know. We could try. It doesn't hurt. Let's read what Katie is saying.
Katie is saying they mentioned something like music cutting during music during cutting of grass in Urdu video, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so they're basically they were saying like if you're cutting the grass while you're doing that, I guess people bang drums to try to scare away animals, like maybe scare away snakes or something that might bite you, while you're in like deep grass cutting it, something like that. I couldn't get like a precise translation,
And
but
that's
it's basically
wrong?
saying, yeah, while you're doing this thing to cut the grass and you need to scare away animals so that you don't cut them or they don't hurt you or something, you're not even allowed to bang drums while doing that. Why in the world would that be haram?
I know why. No, they're actually being very smart about it because they thinking they have thought they're thinking 2 steps ahead. Okay, they're like no music, and then somebody will be like they might be like dancing on their yard and then playing music, and they're like you can't do this, and they're like no, I'm just trying to out. This is like this is not for fun. I'm just trying to scare away. What? Yeah, they're like we saw this coming before people even used it against us. This was a loophole in the system because people could just be having fun for other excuses, and we just told them that you can't do that. Okay, so they're actually that's very smart. Okay, I'm just guessing. I'm just missing it.
Oh, Secular Rarity is saying it's basically the plot of some 80s boy meets girl movie. Yes, that was so funny. When our writer was writing the story, he originally titled this something like Kashmiri Footloose.
Hey, this should be a movie. This should be a movie. Yeah, imagine actually this should be a movie when somebody like about a DJ that is so into music and now his career is being like destroyed because of fatwa, but he's like refused to just like music is such an important part of his life, and this turns into a fight. This will, and then all of a sudden the Muslim, like the end of the movie is like all these Muslims dancing in a wedding, and even and then the clerics change their mind, and even they join in, and they start like, yes, that's a movie plot. God, make it happen, somebody. At the end, like everybody is like happy, and the clerics change their mind, and the music is so good. The music is so good that the clerics have to like undo the fatwa. They heard it. This is what is that? The Greek mythology where Hades like listens to the music and he's like at first against it, and then he like listens to it and he changes his mind. What is that? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't actually. I'm very familiar with Greek mythology.
This is your favorite part of Greek mythology. Your favorite story, where it melts people's hearts with the music. What's that guy? What's that guy's name that comes to save his wife?
Oh, from the underworld? I think is his name.
Yes, he plays music to.
You're right. I thought you were talking about Orpheus, but I couldn't remember that part of the story at first. I just remembered him, how he went to go get his wife. Yes, you're right.
Yes, so this should be a modern day version of the story of Orpheus, but except this is a DJ playing the music. and it's a love story as well, right? Like it's about a wedding, right? And the DJ is gonna play the music to these clerics, and they all like they all regret, and they like okay, they change their mind because the music is being so good, right? This is like a mix of Greek mythology bringing up with like Islam, India, modern, like guys, make that happen. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. This is the best idea.
I know, but the actual Greek story like ends very sad. It's not. So they would change it because it's actually like a tragedy. But we could change it to have a happy
We
ending.
could change it. Yeah, we could have an artistic license and change the ending. Yeah.
I imagine a scene where like the clerics they like bust into a wedding where they're playing music and everything was quiet. They're like, and then the DJ's like, he starts to like play a little music slowly, and it builds, and then the beat drops, and the cleric like whips off his scarf, and then he's like,
oh my God!
Someone write this movie.
Yes, make this movie. I think I'm actually not joking. I think this would sell. This would definitely.
You're welcome. Once again,
yes.
you are welcome.
Yes. Imagine if it actually does become a movie. We have to, guys. Can you put like small Atheist Republic in the credits? It's just a small. Like you don't have to do much. Actually, no, you will get in trouble. Forget it. It's for.
You can just put our names. You can put our names.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, exactly. It would be Islam 0, music 1. All right. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next news.
Ex-Muslim Day declared in India.
Wait. I have to. We have to do that again one more time because this was too good. I cannot not highlight this about the previous. That should be the name of the movie. Okay. All right.
Oh, well, that's a good one.
Okay. That's a good one. All right. One more time. Next news.
Ex-Muslim Day declared in India. Leaders of the ex-Muslims of Kerala, or EMK for short, recently met in the Indian state's capital of Kochi and declared January 9th Kerala Ex-Muslim Day. EMK is an organization that provides a supportive platform for those who left or who wish to leave Islam in the Indian state of Kerala. According to EMK's president, Lee Yakathali CM, January 9th was chosen as the date of commemoration because it marked the anniversary of the locally held debate on Islam between Islamic preacher Emin Akbar and rationalist E.A. Jabbar. This debate sparked widespread open criticism of religion in the area and prompted many people to leave Islam. In a press release, the organization stated that, quote, the problems faced by ex-Muslims just for renouncing their religion are unmatched when it comes to other religions. Furthermore, the organization plans to take legal actions against all atrocities committed in the name of religious traditions or practices that violate basic human rights.
Wow, this is fantastic. It's even being reported on the news. Is this a news segment about this?
Yeah.
Wow. This is a news segment. Wait, hold on. I need to share this with audio one more time. India's news is talking about ex-Muslim Day?
The local news.
Let me know if you have audio.
ഇസ്ലാം മതം ഉപേക്ഷിച്ചവരുടെ കൂട്ടായ്മയായ എക്സ് മുസ്ലിംസ് ഓഫ് കേരള നിലവിൽ വന്നു.
Okay, I just understood that part. Wow, they mentioned ex-Muslims on local news.
How cool is that?
I am so proud. One more time. This was so beautiful. One more time. Look at this.
ഇസ്ലാം മതം ഉപേക്ഷിച്ചവരുടെ കൂട്ടായ്മയായ എക്സ് മുസ്ലിംസ് ഓഫ് കേരള നിലവിൽ വന്നു.
She said ex-Muslims of Kerala. Oh my God. I'm so happy. This was on the news, guys. Look at this. This is local news is talking about ex-Muslims. Oh my God, I'm so proud. Whoever is responsible for this, I am so proud of you. Good job, guys. That's fantastic.
Wait, scroll down a little bit more.
Okay, what is this?
So here you can actually see like their they had like a press conference where the leadership of the organization basically announced like the formal formation of their organization and the Ex-Muslim Day. So if you play it, you can actually see their press release.
പരിശുദ്ധ ഖുർആൻ 24-ാമത്തെ അധ്യായം സൂറത്തുൻ നൂറിലെ 40-ാമത്തെ വചനത്തിൽ
Why is it so speedy? Do you have it
this
on
is
double
not on that.
speed?
No, I don't.
Wait,
Guys,
check,
this is how he.
check the. There's no way.
No, this is how he speaks. I swear, it's not on double speed.
അവിശ്വാസികളുടെ കർമ്മങ്ങളെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുന്ന ആ കർമ്മങ്ങളെ ഉദാഹരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട്
Sorry. That is
Guys,
talking very fast.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Wait, no, play the footage of that in the background though. Just mute it.
Okay.
Because it is, like they had a full-blown press release. It's so cool.
Okay. I have a question. These, I'm sorry for being a little bit skeptical. I just want to make sure these ex-Muslims are not Hindu apologists, are they?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. I just hope that they don't go from leaving Islam to all of a sudden being defending Hindutva. You know what I mean? I don't like, just hoping that's not what's happening, right? Because I have had some bad experiences with some people, some ex-Muslims from India, but I don't want to just, have my, I'm just being somewhat skeptical.
No, I understand. I don't think I've seen any evidence to support that thus far. And also, you need to consider that this is a whole organization, right? So there might be some people like that, but that doesn't represent the entirety of the organization.
Yes.
And also, it's a diverse community, right? The people who leave Islam are not inherently always going to be atheists. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. Okay, so we do have some high comments we need to highlight. Yeah.
Random Buddhist guy is saying these guys would have been lynched in North India. South is much more progressive.
Yay. I mean,
yes, I do know that South India is much more
Wait, that came out very wrong. I meant yay for North, for South India. Okay. I was yaying the second part of this, not the first part of this. Okay. When you said the South is much more progressive, I said yay because of that. Okay, I didn't say yay because of that. Okay, I have to be a lot more careful.
Armin did an oopsies.
I did an oopsie. I didn't say yay for the first part. Okay, I was celebrating the South being progressive. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Oh wait, Mustafa is giving me an important correction. I was saying that this is footage of the press release. This is actually footage of the debate that I was talking about.
Okay, so this is the debate that led into the mass exodus of
this is the debate that's why the date is picked for January 9th, which I think is like so nerdy. Like I kind of love it. Like our day of commemoration is because of this debate, like that made everyone question and leave Islam. Like I love it. It's so cute.
This is their Genesis story, basically. That's fantastic. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to this one.
Katie is saying the ex-Muslim communities in India are mostly really cool, at least the ones I've met. I've never met any Hindutva ex-Muslims personally.
Okay, good. And
and Katie is also saying, I don't think ex-Muslims of Kerala are Hindutva apologists.
Good. And also we have a celebrity here, Harris.
Oh my goodness, we've been getting a lot of celebrities today. Hi, Harris.
Okay.
I hope Harris talks about this on his channel. This is
Harris likes talking about every time like a lot of people are leaving Islam, he highlights that. So that's a good thing, So and this is also an indication of that. So I think it's very good to keep highlighting that, because we keep getting this idea of like, oh, Islam is winning. No, it's not. Like usually they have high birth rates on their hand, but like you can see like just one event like this resulted in so much mass exodus, right? There are things that will happen that completely shift things in our favor, like, and it's going to happen with so much access to information and people being interested in debates and exposing religion and stuff like that. Like we're going to have events like this happening a lot more often, right? So I don't care how much birth rates, like I always say, we're coming after your children. Like, you're like, oh, we have high birth rates, that's why we're gonna win. And like, well, your kids, like, you're not gonna be able to raise them in a bubble. Like, we're coming after them, and they're gonna switch sides. So keep making those babies. You think you're raising your army, you're raising our army. Like, those kids that you're making, they're gonna, like, we're gonna, yeah, they're basically, members of, you're making our soldiers for us, not for yourself. Okay, we're gonna make them come after. We're gonna make your own kids come after you for your religion. So yeah, keep pumping out those babies.
Damn. Okay.
Keep pumping out those Muslim, Hindu, and Christian and Jewish babies. They will, we're coming after them. Anyways.
So congratulations to ex-Muslims of Kerala for their formal launching for establishing Ex-Muslim Day. And I particularly like how they were talking about how very firmly they want to protect the rights of ex-Muslims because of what they deal with, not only from their community, but from the potential threats they receive for their open criticism of religion, which can get sketchy under the law in India. And their fight against religious traditionalism in general. So it already happened, but happy Ex-Muslim Day, guys.
Yay, happy Ex-Muslim. Did you give me a gift for Ex-Muslim Day? No? You didn't even message me on Ex-Muslim Day. Wait, you knew about Ex-Muslim Day.
No, not beforehand, because they announced it on the 9th.
You could have messaged me happy Ex-Muslim Day when you found out.
Ah, damn. I'm called out so hard.
Okay. Okay, we should move on to the next news. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes.
Oh wait, okay. We can? The picture doesn't look like we can. This is an Indonesian story.
Wait, no, you're out of order.
Did I miss a story?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah, I did miss a story. I was like, oh my god, we're clapping for this? Okay, hold on, let me bring that up. Good thing I checked I'm like, Susie, what's wrong with you? Look at the cover. How could we clap for this? Okay. So that's the one after.
I feel left out. Can non-ex-Muslims celebrate Ex-Muslim Day? Of course. Go celebrate people leaving Islam, living their best life, being free.
Yes, of course.
Celebrate dissent, and say congratulations to your local ex-Muslim. Give them a hug. Send them some bacon.
Yes. Say happy Ex-Muslim Day to an ex-Muslim in your life. Okay, so do you see the picture? Is this the right story? Do I have it right?
Yes, this is. You got it.
All right. Okay. Next news. Supreme Court of India intervenes in violent hate speech against Muslims. So, I'll read the prompt and then we'll get into it. On January 12th, India's Supreme Court announced it will petition to seek the prosecution of several Hindu leaders for making highly inflammatory speeches against Muslims at closed-door meetings back in December 2021. Atheist Republic previously discussed these extremely worrying speeches in which several Hindu leaders urged the audience to, if necessary, take up arms, kill people, and do whatever it takes to make India a Hindu-only nation. YouTube, this is not what we believe. We are talking about other people's beliefs. Okay. The court has told the state government of Uttarakhand that they will be launching an investigation into the grave matter. The first arrest related to this investigation occurred when Wasim Rizvi, formerly a prominent Shia Muslim who recently converted to Hinduism, was arrested on January 14th for his incendiary statements during the speeches that directly incited violence against the Muslim minority of India. So, I wanted to cover this story because these hate speeches that happened in Delhi and Haridwar received a huge amount of attention. The fallout from them has been ongoing. And also because we talk about a lot of worrying stuff that comes out of India, I also wanted to highlight and cover when there is some appropriate action and motions being taken, right? So
what I thought was really interesting is when we first reported this on our website, there had been no arrests related to the specific investigation that had happened yet. There had been some other arrests of some of the speakers that had happened kind of slightly more in isolation, or if specific FIRs were filed against them. But in terms of, so then when I was researching today, I found out that just what day is it? Yeah, just yesterday, the first arrest due to this investigation actually happened. And
Wait, so liberal Bengali Hindu is saying to none of them arrested. So you're actually you have more updated information than liberal Bengali Hindu. Somebody has been arrested, huh?
yes. So
Oh,
what's
wow.
interesting is that the person who
You
was
have better
arrested-
information than people in India. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So the person who was first arrested, in regards to this specific investigation, his given name is Wasim Rizvi, but he recently converted to Hinduism and changed his name to Jitrendra Narayan Tyagi, or I'll
Nailed
just refer
it.
to him as Tyagi. But oh wait, just a second, I'll get to that in a second. What's so interesting about Tyagi is that he was this very prominent Shia Muslim who was a member of the Waqf board and actually, had to give commentary about Islamic issues. And then literally only like 6 weeks ago, he converted to Hinduism, changed his name, and within like 3 weeks after he left Islam and went to Hinduism, he was making these speeches that incited violence against Muslims. It's so crazy.
Yeah, just went from 0 to 100 in like no time, right? Like
that's what was so wild to me. I was like, you were a Muslim like 3 weeks ago, bro. What's wrong with you?
Oh my god! All right, so can I? Okay, I want to make a few points. Okay, first of all, where are all the Hindus in the live chat that told us that this is not a big deal? Okay, because guess what? The Supreme Court of India agrees with us, not you. Where, like, you remember all the people that were saying that we're highlighting this, and this is like a nothing burger, and this is just like it went to the Supreme Court of India, and they are they apparently, me, Susanna, and the Supreme Court of India are on the same mind on this. Like, okay, it was big enough deal for it to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Okay, so where's Hindutva Susanna? Like, oh, you guys, Hindutva Susanna, are you here? Speak up, right? Because you were like in the live chat always saying like, oh, like, why this is not a big deal? This is a fringe group. Okay, so apparently not. Apparently it's important enough for this much coverage. Okay, and also I don't like how it's being called hate speech. Okay, this was not just hate speech. This was like a direct call for violence, right? This was like an not just mass execution of people. And this was like that like, I think calling it hate speech makes it seem like we are saying that hate speech should be regulated. Like, I don't think like the government should be able to ban hate speech, but this was way beyond hate speech.
There's a difference between hate speech and incitement to violence, let alone incitement to genocide, which if you watch the transcript of these speeches, that's what this was. Like,
exactly.
That is not protected under law.
Right. Yeah, like, okay, so people are asking, where see Hindutva Susanna, where are you? People are like, oh, good point, Armin. Where's Hindutva Susanna? Are you here? Tell us, like, by the way,
no,
this also you go on.
There's something I wanted to get into. So it has to do with the arrest of Wasim Rizvi, or Tyagi. So when he was getting arrested, he happened to be accompanied by this other guy who was one of the worst ones in terms of just the vitriol and violence and just how bad his speech. He's just a horrible person. His full name is Yati. Man, this is Narsinghanand. I'm just going to call him Yati.
Nailed it.
Okay, for short.
No, you nailed it. That's exactly how it's pronounced. I know. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyways, so when Wasim Rizvi when he got arrested, he happened to be with Yati N. And so when he was there, Yati N was like, I don't know, based on the descriptions of it, he was trying to like boss up and be all alpha, and he'd like fall on his sword. He's like, take me with him, like arrest me too, like blah blah blah. and then no, see here's I was with Tyagi when he was arrested, but the police did not take me. He was arrested because he was once a Muslim who converted to Hinduism. This is so that no other Muslims convert to Hinduism, he said, claiming that he offered to be arrested as he too is accused. And then he's like,
wait, is he saying there's a discrimination against people with Muslim background? That's kind of based.
He's saying that this is a conspiracy.
I know.
Because
I'm
he
just
was
saying.
once a Muslim. This is a conspiracy to make sure that other Muslims are not motivated to convert to Hinduism.
No, I was kind of joking about the fact that maybe he's acknowledging that there's maybe it's kind of, I was trying to steelman like suggest that maybe he's like, oh, maybe you're suggesting that their people's background is, the government, because we know in India, even if you're an ex-Muslim, because you have a Muslim background, there's some level of oppression that you still have to deal with, right? I was like thinking like maybe he's acknowledging that, but of course he's not. But anyways, yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So then after Tyagi got arrested, he was basically threatening to go on hunger strike. He's like, I'm not going to eat food or drink water until he's released.
Is that him?
No, that's not him.
Because if it was him, I was going to like, maybe you do need to go.
Actually, he is fat though.
Okay.
Yati
So that's good for you.
He is actually
do
fat.
Do it. That's good. Actually, no, fasting is not a good way.
Yeah, so people are also talking about how like it was reported within the past 11 to 7 hours that Yati N was also he's also been arrested in the hate speech case. Yes, so it's starting to come down.
Okay, let's go. Before we go through the live, some of the start comments. I also want to mention that again, some don't give up completely on India. Like, look at this. Like, this is good thing, right? A lot of people think that we have this black and white view of India, that everything is bad, and then other people who are defending, like the people who criticize us, they think like everything is good, and every time we highlight something bad, they think like we're trying to portray as everything that is bad. But we take time to celebrate good things that happen in India, right? Like we acknowledge that the police in Uttar Pradesh did a good job, right? And look, the Supreme Court of India is also doing a very good job here in this shows that you can't just claim that India has completely lost its ways, right? You can't just go out and just call up, the Supreme Court agrees that calling for genocide is a no-no. Still that's a no-no in India still, so that's good, right? Don't give up on India. This is fantastic. Thank you so much, the Supreme Court of India. All right, so let's go to some start comments. Do you want to read this?
Yes, Katie is saying, yeah, the main guy, Yati N, was arrested less than 24 hours ago. He made genocidal comments a lot even before this event.
Okay.
Random Buddhist guy is saying these speeches are common and unprosecuted in India, unfortunately.
Okay. I know these speeches are common, but this is, even by the hateful speeches standards of these groups of people, this was still way above that. Okay, like a lot of these speeches are hateful, are bigoted, but this one was a bit this one was different. Okay, this one was like calling for mass genocide. It went beyond.
People get oaths,
yes,
to do whatever is necessary,
yes,
to make India a Hindu Rashtra. Like,
yes. Yeah, this was like, we've seen those other speeches that are common, and they're really hateful, they're really bigoted, but this one was like, even by that standard, this was different. Okay, but let's go to this one.
Katie is also saying, true, I was very uncomfortable with calling it hate speech, and I hated how most of the leftists in India are calling it hate speech. Like, it is
Right.
way worse than
Than
simply
hate
hate speech.
If it was only hate speech, it shouldn't have been criminalized. It should have just been called out as bad. Okay. I mean, that's my opinion, right? But yeah, this was not just hate speech. This one, another Katie comment.
Katie is saying, while there would be arrests, there's also a high chance of the going free because of BJP. I'm making no promises about how this is going to pan out, right? But I will appreciate a positive step forward while it's here.
And here's Hindus for Susanna.
Oh boy. Hindu for Susanna is saying, meanwhile, Muslim politicians who called for a Hindu genocide last week is still roaming free. Oh, is still roaming free. Hail secularism. Okay. First of all, I would be interested in talking about this on the show. If you could like send a credible source about this.
Yeah.
If it's this, what's the name of this guy? It's like Owasi or something. People always bring up him. He sounds just like a piece of shit and a real piece of work. So I actually need to go study what his actual comments were and how recently they happened, because if it's as bad as what people are telling me, yes, this person should 100% be prosecuted as well.
Yeah, well, Hindus for Susanna, did you submit this story into our Discord in the suggested story, or are you just here to complain and do what about it, right? If you want us to cover this, like we provided you a way for you to suggest stories to us to cover, have you submitted this story? Because we have mentioned this many times that that's the way to submit stories. Or are you just here to complain? Be like, why are you not talking about this? Well, did you suggest that? Okay. Also, we have to make sure that the sources are credible. Like, I mean, I say we as if I'm doing the work. Susanna's doing all the research. Thank you, Susanna. Like, Susanna has to check actually if it's credible, because it can be just one of these, like, yeah. Anyways, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, a lot of people submit stories that are more stories that are like a right-leaning Indian audience would want promoted. And to be fair, I do actually go look into those stories to see if that's something that we should cover, because a lot of times I do find it interesting. And a lot of those stories just don't seem credible, or they don't hold up under the spotlight. So I don't cover them,
like
because
OP India, right? OP.
I would never cover anything from OP India.
Yeah, if your only source for something like this is OP India, then like, yeah, we need some better sources to be able to cover that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is the correct story, right? This is not clappable.
Yes, this is the correct story.
Okay. All right, next news.
Next news, Indonesian woman caned 100 times for adultery. On January 13th, a man and a woman were publicly flogged for the quote-unquote crime of adultery in the Aceh province of Indonesia. The couple was caught back in 2018 at a palm oil plantation where the man was allegedly, quote, showing affection to a female partner who is not his wife. Aceh is the only province in Indonesia where Sharia law is maintained as part of a 2005 autonomy deal made with the central Indonesian government. Based on Sharia, both of them were penalized with public lashings. The man, who refused to confess to the accusation, received only 15 lashes, while the woman, who did confess, received an overwhelming 100. Human rights groups and even Indonesia's president, Joko Widodo, condemn public lashing as cruel and have called for it to end. However, the local population of Aceh strongly supports such punishments.
That is insane. I've seen people passed out from the pain from these lashing in Aceh.
Yeah,
yeah.
She reportedly had to take a break because of obviously the pain. To receive 100 in one sitting is insane. It's insane.
I've even Saudi Arabia breaks them into 50 and then waits for a couple of months and then gives you another 50 or something like this. These
They
people are
even break
doing,
it down even less than that sometimes.
yeah, I've heard them break down to like 25 in a day and then waiting a couple of months and then give you another 25 or something like that. So I've never heard of like doing 100 in one day. That's insane. These hurt a lot, by the way. Like I've seen
Being
people
caned
pass out.
hurts. You don't even have to get hit that bad, like that hard, for it to really hurt, especially across the back.
So Puya's question is important, actually. Yeah.
Puya is saying, wait, was the man receiving less lashes because he was a man or because he didn't confess? It's because he didn't confess. He was, I don't know what happened when there was the investigation into this incident, but they got the confession out of the woman, so she had to serve the full punishment. But he never confessed. It was originally going to be like 30, and then he appealed and got it down to 15.
Yeah, somebody in Twitch is saying Aceh lost Uttar Pradesh. Yeah, actually, this is very very interesting. Like the state of, is it a state or is it a province in Aceh?
Aceh is a province.
It's a province. Yeah, the province of Aceh to Indonesia, it's like the state of Uttar Pradesh to India. But I mean,
Well, I
even
mean, to
Uttar
be
Pradesh,
fair, I don't know if they do corporal punishment
yes.
in Uttar Pradesh.
So,
I mean,
yeah, no, yeah, I'm just saying, like, as in the sense that they're the worst religious parts of that country. But this shows how, as bad as India is, it shows how much more barbaric Islam could get relative to Hinduism, right? Like, we don't have anything like this in India, right? And again, this is Indonesia, the supposedly most moderate, one of the most moderate progressive Islamic countries in the world. Like this, Indonesia and Malaysia are often cited as examples of how progressive and modern and not barbaric Islamic countries could be by people like Reza Aslan, right? So, like in one of, so look at this. In one of them, this is the punishment in Aceh in Indonesia, which is supposed to be one of the most progressive, moderate Islamic countries in the world. This is the punishment for adultery, right? And so imagine, the rest of the Islamic world, like the ones that, like Saudi Arabia and Iran, all right? But again, so the most moderate of Islamic countries, right, relative to the worst, the most aggressively Hindu province in the world, which is Uttar Pradesh, it's still the Islamic one is worse.
yes.
When it comes to practice.
I
Like,
mean,
this is
don't get me wrong. The Indian police, they do 100% torture people. That's well known. But that's illegal.
But not by government.
That's illegal.
Yeah, that's
It's
illegal.
not sanctioned by the state as something you can be sentenced with. That's a huge difference.
I mean, people might argue like, well, it doesn't make much of a difference for the person that is receiving all the pain, and all the punishment, right? But it still makes it like, if something is sanctioned by the government, it becomes a lot more normalized and accepted and legitimate, you know what I mean, than something that the mob does it. I mean, again, even if the mob does it, it's still extremely horrible. But I think it means, I think it does mean something when it's officially been sanctioned by the government, and this has been, right? Like, you can never imagine, as much as we criticize Uttar Pradesh, you could never imagine the state, in Uttar Pradesh coming out and caning somebody for anything. Like, like it's unimaginable. Like, you can see how different things are. By the way,
there's no part of the penal code where you can be sentenced to something like this.
Yeah. So as much as we criticize India, it's still far, far ahead of Islamic countries. Far ahead of Islamic countries.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Anything you want to highlight in the live chat?
Rudresh is saying Reza Aslan, LOL. I used to believe that guy's BS once.
Yes. All right. That guy. What happened to him?
This is pissing me off. Hindupa Susanna is saying, my heart goes out to my Indonesian sister who was once a Hindu.
What?
Do you care about humans if they don't have any relation to Hinduism? Like, do you actually just, like, care about people, or is it only self-enlightened interest?
This
Like, I'm highlighting this because I want people to like see this attitude. This is
you
insane.
don't care. Yeah, you don't care about people. You care about ideologies. You care about tribalism. This is so disgusting. Like this is how you know religion and tribalism keeps humanity from progress, because instead of actually genuinely caring about people, you're just caring about winning, being under your tribe, being ahead of, it's about in defending who's in the, who belongs in the group versus who's outside, like, and making an enemy of the people who are outside. Like this is like, you don't genuinely care about people's experiences. You just want to be on a winning team, and that's why you defend people who are on your side. Oh my god, are you serious? Do you want to highlight that?
I don't even know if we should. This is
I'm just gonna-
ban-worthy on our channel. This kind of language is ban-worthy on our channel.
No, like, no. I'm not gonna read it. I'm just gonna highlight it for people to see what kind of a disease we're dealing here with. Like, look how disgusting this is, guys. Like, we don't even need to say much more. This is like, look at what their ideology represents. We don't even need to like condemn it. We just like because it's obvious. Like, we're just gonna leave it there here on the screen for you guys to see how disgusting this ideology is. We don't even need to add anything to this.
Should we ban this person because we don't tolerate
No.
dehumanizing language?
I want people. No, I want people. No. I want people to. I want these people to out themselves. Okay, I want these people to out themselves. I want people, because if we keep saying that this is the way they think, a lot of people might think we're exaggerating. A lot of people might don't believe us. A lot of people might think like, oh, you have an agenda to like misrepresent people and blah blah blah. So I want them to be here, and we could show how these people operate, what they think. Yeah, unbelievable. By the way, thank you so much. Yeah, keep saying these things, because thank you so much for making our job easier, because we don't know how to warn people, because a lot of people don't believe us. We don't know how to do that. So you coming here and outing yourself makes it easier for us to be able to warn others about how toxic your ideology is. Okay? So this is how they think. Okay? So thank you for making making it easy for us to use you as a way to warn everyone else. All right. Yeah. Look at this. Somebody saying you are overreacting. Really? We are overreacting to somebody unbelievable. You are underreacting. Do you know how dehumanizing this is a language that is suggesting that certain people, because of their ideas, they're not human. Okay, in YouTube, this is not what I'm saying. I'm warning people about how do you know historically what has been justified by dehumanizing an entire group of people? Do you know what the consequences of that way of thinking is? Do you know what kinds of things would be allowed when you dehumanize an entire group of people? This is the most toxic form of decision making. This is the worst argument. The greatest crimes in history has been built upon these types of arguments.
How are we overreacting when there are open calls for genocide against a population within a country, and we see that exact attitude reflected and justified, validated, and legitimized in our own live chat? Like, the stakes could not be higher.
There is no more dangerous way of thinking. Like, there is no more dangerous ideology than what this person just said. Like, we are overreacting. Have you no understanding of history? And are you serious? Like, you have to be so ignorant to not see the ramifications of like that kind of. Anyways, that was enlightening. Okay, can we clap for the next news? I guess not.
No.
Okay. All right. Next news.
Next news, shocking details of attempted honor killing in Australia revealed in court. A recent court hearing in the Adelaide Magistrates Court exposed how far some families are willing to go to maintain control of their daughters. On November 30th, 2021, a 21-year-old Muslim woman was stabbed multiple times and kidnapped from a parking lot of Sefton Plaza Shopping Centre in Sefton Park, Australia. The 5 perpetrators have been identified as members of the victims' family. The attack left the victim with a perforated kidney, lacerated liver, and significant internal bleeding. While the victim was in the intensive care unit for her injuries, her bank account was drained, leaving only 17 cents. Her boyfriend's house was also broken into 2 days before the attack. 5 members of the victim's family have been charged with attempted murder. The victim's father was charged with illegal detention after driving the victim back to their Blair Athol residence without calling the ambulance. According to the prosecutors, the attack appears to be an attempted honor killing. It was stated that the victim's family disapproved of her Christian boyfriend. To protect the victim from probable future attacks, bail has been refused for all suspects.
Good. Jesus Christ. How do they think they're going to get away with this? This is like Australia. This is not Pakistan.
Well, what's interesting is that, so part of the reason, reportedly, from what the local news is telling me, is that when this woman was like 5 or 6 years old, she was promised in marriage to one of her cousins back in Pakistan. She was had an arranged marriage. She was engaged like when she was a child to her cousin. And so she grew up, and then she had a boyfriend who was a Sri Lankan Christian who she met in university, and they wanted to be together, and their family didn't allow this. They put tracking apps on her phone so they could locate her. And then when she was at this shopping mall, they stabbed her and tried to kidnap her. And it was only because someone somehow saw this. Someone contacted the woman's boyfriend. And so the boyfriend contacted the police. And so then the police sent an ambulance to her family's home. Because I guess they just like made that like deductive reasoning, or they made the assumption that they're going to end up at their actual residence. So the police went there with an ambulance to the residence to make sure that she was going to receive medical care as soon as possible. So their charges are also partially so high because they never called an ambulance for her, let alone like the kidnapping.
But how did they think they could get away with this? Like, this is like, I mean, like, obviously this is going to happen. This is Australia. Like, I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen to them? I hope, like, I hope they stay in jail forever. Like, is that what's going to happen?
Well, they have the next court hearing is in March. And in the meantime, or I don't know how long it will last, but the victim, she is in protective custody. So that's really good news. The authorities is taking this so seriously. I found out about this story because the founder of Faithless Hijabis, RK, was posting about it. And I wanted to highlight this story because I think it's important to remember that honor-based violence isn't something that just happens like somewhere far away, especially if you live in like the West. It's something that can just be seen as, oh, that just happens over there. Like, that's not something that we have to deal with. That's not something that affects my community, but it actually does affect our communities. And this can happen in your backyard, and it's shocking. And so it's important that, you know, we don't hold these issues of honor-based violence like at arm's length and just saying, oh, that happens to those people, those other people, blah, blah, blah. Like, but to really see it as something that can happen anywhere, and to provide, have resources available readily for women in no matter what community you are, because this can come into your backyard, so to speak. It can, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if it doesn't happen in your backyard, if it's important to. I mean, like, I mean, it's not like the ones that are happening in Pakistan are less important, right? We're not suggesting, obviously, we're not saying, but like this shows, like if this happens in Australia, like somewhere that the rule of law actually matters a lot more, and the officials are a lot more serious about like stopping stuff like this. But the fact that happens in Australia with much less Muslim population, imagine what girls are dealing with in Pakistan, right? Like imagine the hell and that they're living in Pakistan or in Bangladesh. Like, God damn it.
Oh my gosh, if you've seen the statistics about domestic violence that's been happening during the disease that's been going around in Pakistan, like it's a huge issue. It's a huge issue. I mean, that's not necessarily honor-based violence, um, but there's been a couple of very high-profile cases that have happened recently of like honor killings that shocked you, like even the elite class in Pakistan, with how bad and brutal it can get. Um, do you want to talk about like why you believe or maintain that this is something that is religiously based? Because you do get a lot of pushback for that often.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I have done it so many times. I think like for some of people here it might get repetitive, so I'll just go through it really quickly. Okay, there's nothing in Islamic scripture that specifically allows honor killing. Okay, and in fact, technically, based on Islamic rules, this is not allowed. This is haram, right? You shouldn't be able to do this. However, I still blame Islam for this for multiple reasons. One of so the example is that just like in Christianity, where it doesn't allow you to molest children, there's nothing in the Bible that allows that, but we still do blame Christianity for being responsible for that to happen, because of indirectly make it as responsible for that to happen. For example, in Christianity, it gives you the idea of all sins are forgivable through just believing in Jesus Christ. So it gives you basically a license to sin, and also through the idea of religion as a whole gives God men the authority and the legitimacy and the trust, that a lot that puts them in a position where a lot of parents see these as moral people. And in a in a secular world, when we trust people with children, they go through a lot of a lot of hoops that they're supposed to pass for us to be able to give them the trust that they deserve with children, that doesn't happen in religious circles, because of that level, that trust that priests or imams are supposed to be moral people or trustworthy people. And basically it creates environments where people who shouldn't be trusted with children are trusted with children. So indirectly, like, Christianity is responsible for that, even though there's nothing in scripture. Similarly, in Islam also, we have honor killing, which there is no scripture that allows that, but there are multiple things that makes that possible. First, the idea of women being less valuable, and therefore like the punishments associated with being abusive to women is less harsh. So for example, a lot of fathers, even in Iran, calculate, like, for example, in Iran, honor killing your own daughter is illegal and you go to jail for it, but killing your daughter, as the punishment for it, is much less than killing your son. So a lot of fathers make the calculation that the fact that going to jail for being able to cleanse their family off of this shame, because the prison sentence is not that long for killing your daughter, it's worth doing it anyways, right? So there's like that attitude. Also, the idea of just honor culture, shame culture, the idea of women bringing shame to a family and being impure for having relationships like this, that's something that Islam introduces. And so that's part of scripture, that's part of Islam. So it introduces that. The idea of physically being able to punish women, the idea of physically being able to own women, trade women, even if it's not a slave woman, which is allowed in Islam. The idea of women being a property of the father that gets switched to a property of the husband. That way of looking at women as if like their consent doesn't even matter. The way women are seen and treated in Islam encourages this idea of them being impure, brings shame, and it's disgusting, and that you have a physical authority over women. So these ideas encouraged in Islam creates a culture that eventually leads to honor killing, even though Islam directly itself doesn't endorse, it actually condemns honor killing and does not endorse it, but still Islam is responsible for honor killing, and that's why you see honor killing happening in Islamic communities on a per capita basis much higher than any other community. Okay, so
I concur. Oh, and AGA is saying the work I've done with Atheist Hijabi has shown me this happens way more than you think in Western countries. Yes, fun fact, guys, our very own AGA recently became the vice president of Faithless Hijabi. So congratulations to AGA. And big shouts out to Faithless Hijabi. Like I was saying, it is important to have resources available to women who could be experiencing this kind of violence. And Faithless Hijabi is one of the best organizations that I know that does do a lot to provide help to women who are facing these kinds of things. So AGA also provided links to Faithless Hijabi. So go check them out.
I just want to highlight the fact that the reason why we're saying, like some people are suggesting, like reminding you that this happens in Western countries more often than people realize, and that it should be taken more seriously. It's not because, like, I don't want people to come with the impression that we're thinking these events happening in Western countries are more important than the ones that are happening in Iran or in Saudi Arabia or in Pakistan or Bangladesh. Okay, the reason why these events are just more accessible to us for us to stop. You know what I mean? Like, there is a legal framework for us to be able to do something about it, right? So it's not like, oh yeah, honor killing happening in Pakistan. Oh, I guess. Oh, but it's happening in Australia. Oh my God, we should, like, that is far worse. Like, these are people's lives, right? So people's lives in Pakistan are as valuable as people's lives in Australia. The reason why we want to say, like, oh my God, it's happening in Australia a lot more than you realize, is because at least there is something that you have the force of the government behind you. So you as an individual putting some effort into attacking this, there is a lot more resources available to you for you to stop it. Okay, so that's, again, I don't want, but I also don't want to encourage the idea that, okay, so there's nothing we can do about the Pakistani ones, because there is, okay, there is something we could do about it as well. I just want to make sure that nobody comes with the impression that we care about crimes that are happening in United States, United Kingdom, Australia, more than, or anywhere in Europe. It's not that we care about them more than the ones that are happening in Pakistan. Okay.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I personally want to highlight when it happens in these Western or free societies, particularly because I think for other people in my community in these countries, it brings their attention to it in a bigger way. Like I said, they kind of, if it happens in Pakistan, we don't believe that it's any less important, but people are going to be more likely to dismiss it, like, oh, that's just what happens over there. But to bring it into your country and personalize it more, I think it can sometimes get more attention. And I want attention generally more on these types of this type of violence. Does that make
Prometheus
sense?
is, yes. Yeah. Prometheus is saying it happens in all religions in India, not just Muslims. Well, Prometheus, good thing we didn't say that it happens only in Islamic countries. So it's a good thing we didn't say that. You know, I'm actually, like, maybe Hercules shouldn't have saved you. God damn it! Like, you should. All right, we should have. We should. What? Kim Jong-un is here. No, we like India, Kim Jong-un. Like, why are you swearing at India? We're not going to even highlight that. All right. So can we clap for the next news?
Yes, this is just silly and hilarious.
Good, finally. All right, next news.
Next news. Pope warns cancel culture is a form of ideological colonization. On
No
January
way.
10th, Pope Francis spoke against the growing trend of cancel culture, calling it one-track thinking that can alter accounts of past historical events. The Pope's comments came after a draft of the European Union Communications Manual titled Union of Equality was released last October. The 30-page guide aims to create more gender-neutral language in support of the LGBTQ community. The guide also suggests the use of inclusive languages regarding holidays such as Christmas. The Pope stated that these attempts at sidelining Christian languages are a form of, quote, a form of ideological colonization, one that leaves no room for freedom of expression. While the Pope did not use any specific cancel culture examples, he insisted that history must be interpreted in the context of its own time. Cardinal Pietro Parolin stated that Europe owes its identity to Christianity, and the cancellation of its roots is, quote unquote, against reality.
You read that last part again. Europe owes its what?
Europe owes its identity to Christianity, and the cancellation of its roots is against reality.
I mean, through colonization, though, right? Christianity spreading through colonization.
Sir, how dare you?
I guess. Goddamn. Like, it's like, do I need to even state the obvious? The fact that the Pope, the representative of the Catholic Church, is using the word colonization. Like, do you not know? Like, okay, if you bring up, like, if you say, isn't this the second time he's calling something colonization? Didn't we have a similar story?
So it kind of corresponds. We talked about when this document was leaked and there was all this outcry, and this is when Pope Francis was talking. Right. He didn't say the war on Christmas, but he was talking about like people trying to kind of like cancel Christmas. And like recently he had another speech where he actually used the word in English, cancel culture. In an Italian speech, he's saying this in English several times. So he was like really insisting on the cancel culture of it all. And a lot of people were reflecting on that other incident.
I mean, the level of self-awareness is below zero here. Like, you are the head of the Catholic Church. Like, nobody has done, like, you're talking about words, and like people like, so like you have an opinion. You're like, oh, I want to be a transphobe or like a homophobe. And people like, that is wrong. And you calling that, cancel culture is coming for us, and that's colonization. Really? Words disagreeing with you are colonization. People are saying happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas. You're calling that colonization from the people that have done colonization. They are, if you look up the word colonization on a dictionary, you see a picture of the Vatican. Like, they have an image of the Vatican. Is like, and there's nothing else. There's no other words. This is a picture of the Vatican. It's just like right there. And they're talking about
cancel culture, and in my mind, I'm just like visions of like Spanish Inquisition, like burning people at the stake. Like,
your church mass murdered people in the name of colonization, and you're like, we're being colonized because people are telling us that we're bigots and that we're like intolerant. Like, we're being colonized. You know what? You should actually be colonized. People should come and invade the Vatican. It's over. Like, that's like, I am encouraging a real colonization of the Vatican. It's over. Italy, something. Oh God, something. Oh my God, I have this troll here again.
Oh my God, the loving Hindutva troll is back. Armin, yeah, I love you. I love you, beautiful Navabi. Please let me express my deep love for you. Please don't break our love.
Okay, if you posted that one time, I wouldn't ban you. You posted it like 9 times, so I have to ban you. You could come here and troll if you don't just spam the live chat with it. What, it would be easier. You keep making like 10 accounts to come do this, send the same message. You wouldn't have to keep making accounts if you just posted one time. Anyways,
Wait, I want to
Yeah.
read more of his full comments because this was pretty funny. In his remarks on Monday, Francis warned of a form of ideological colonization, one that leaves no room for freedom of expression and is now taking the form of cancel culture, invading many circles and public institutions. He used the two words in English in the midst of a long speech in Italian. Quote, the cancel culture controversy is particularly sharp in English-speaking countries such as the US and Britain. This risked canceling identity, quote, under the guise of defending diversity, Francis said, adding that a kind of one-track thinking is taking shape, one that constrained to deny history or, worse yet, rewrite it in terms of present-day categories.
Okay, one-track thinking. First of all, you have a history of burning people alive for not thinking your way. One, can you mention that? Second of all, and guys, I'm not doing whataboutism, okay? Because whataboutism is when somebody points to something else and tries to use that as an excuse to say why this is allowed, okay? These are the same people, okay? This is like pointing this is like whataboutism. People have to be able to tell the difference between whataboutism and calling out hypocrisy, okay? These are the same. This is the same institution, okay? And if you say, okay, well, that was back then. First of all, we'll mention it. We were like, oh, we were actually the OG colonizers, and we didn't do it with words. We were a lot more aggressive about it. We burned people alive. And second of all, you still do one-track thinking. What happens to people within the Catholic Church who disagree with the Orthodox way of thinking? There's a name for that. What do you call that? You're an ex-Catholic. What is it called when you bring up excommunicate? Oh yeah, you excommunicate people. Is that what it's called? Yeah, one-track thinking. One-track thinking. Don't they excommunicate every priest that is not speaking in their officially approved way? Isn't that the same? And again, we're not talking about history. We're talking about now. You're doing this now. One-track thinking. Are you out of your mind? And also, one-track thinking, what these people call cancel culture is actually being called out. Nobody's shutting you. People are just pointing out that you are bigots. That's what you're pointing out. Oh my God, there's more spam that I need to. Where's music guy when we need them? Okay, I banned this guy. All right, cool. There's a lot of spam.
Excommunication thing, and it's to get excommunicated for a heterodox opinion would have to be probably someone who's in leadership to get something like that. If you're just a lay member who has some weird ideas, you would have to be doing something pretty extreme to actually get excommunicated.
Yeah, but still, the leaders
sins are there's only 7 of them that can immediately.
I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about the leaders. The fact that they have to. There's no room for independent thinking and original thought. You have to think within this way that the Catholic Church approves, or else you get kicked out. Also, another point is apparently the Pope has to join everyone else that doesn't understand what free speech means. Okay, why is this such a simple concept? Why is everybody such a moron about this, including the Pope? This is such a simple idea. It's not against your free speech when people tell you that your ideas are shit. When your ideas are being called out as shitty ideas, nobody is violating your free speech. Do you not understand how free speech works? Free speech means that you get to have shitty ideas, and you get to tell people your shitty ideas, and our free speech also allows us to tell you hey, nice idea that you have out there. It would be a shame if we call it out for being shitty, which we're about to do, and oops, we just did it. That's my free speech to call out your idea as a shitty idea. That's also my free speech. That is not against your free speech. That is not violating your free speech. Anyways, well,
wait, don't worry about the trolls. I block them before you do. But man, you crack me up. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I love how this is over a document that went out where they basically said hey, don't assume that everyone's a Christian. Not everyone celebrates Christmas. Okay, and also here's some language you can use to just consider the LGBT community. they're like,
Yeah.
you're denying Europe's Christian roots. This is against reality, and it is going to cause the collapse of civilization.
And also, Europe's Christian roots is everything wrong with Europe. Okay, Christianity is good not because of Christianity. Europe is like anything great about Europe is because of it. It's fighting Christianity. The Enlightenment, the Age of Enlightenment, which is responsible for making Europe a lot more progressive and advanced than many other places around the world, it was because it was a fight in direct in a direct attack at Christianity and organized religion as a whole. Okay, so yeah, people stepping up against your ideas and against your way of thinking is what made Christianity better, Europe better than the rest of the world. Not the Christian. And in fact, it would have progressed a lot faster if it wasn't for the Catholic Church, right? Yeah, so Christian roots. And like also like, oh, we're being oppressed because people are saying happy holidays. First of all, nobody's gonna stop you from saying Merry Christmas. Like, I can't believe like the Pope has went to Fox News level. Like,
Yeah,
this is like,
this is Fox News.
yeah, like when the Pope is now has the same narratives as Fox News, like, and this is the Pope that atheists wanted to celebrate. Like, did we not call this out? Were we not right about this? Like, people are like, oh my God, this Pope is amazing. Finally, a Pope that we atheists can love and like celebrate. Like, we're like, really now? Come on. And now we were like, we were right. We were right as usual. Okay. So next time, just come here and just subscribe to our YouTube channels, and just you will be less.
You should
The
do
more
that anyways,
videos,
to be honest.
the more you watch me and Susie, the less moronic you're gonna be. Okay, so
that reminds me, please make sure to like this video, you guys.
Yeah,
I've been having a lot of fun today. I think that deserves a like. It takes less than a second. You can smash it, or you can do it gently.
Do not smash it, because we're not going to refund anybody who breaks their phone. Okay, so just lightly tapping it is good enough. Okay,
if you break your keyboard, that's on you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So can we clap for the next news? Oh my God, what is this?
Yes, we can. Oh wait, sorry. No. I skipped the news. I skipped a news. We cannot clap for this next news.
Okay, because I was looking at the picture. I was like, what am I looking at? And they're like, yes, we can. I was like, oh my God, Susie, are you serious?
Mask off.
Okay. No, I got that, Susie. Like, yeah, okay. Hand doet vertalieren. All right. Next news.
Next news. Indian villagers take oath to boycott Muslims. A video has recently been making the rounds on social media in which several men from a village in this Indian state of this is so hard for me to say. Chhattisgarh are seen making a public oath. Are seen making a public oath to quote unquote boycott Muslims. In the video, they are heard declaring, quote, "We Hindus will not buy goods from any Muslim shopkeeper, nor sell or rent our land to any Muslim. We Hindus pledge to buy from vendors coming to our villages only after ascertaining their religion. We also pledge to not work as laborers for them," end quote. According to some sources, this oath was allegedly prompted by an assault that occurred between the inhabitants of two different villages. Local authorities have opened an investigation into who led the crowd in reciting this oath.
Is this a circle salute?
Well, we can actually see the video of it below.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the video. I've heard circle jerks before. I've never heard circle salutes before.
Oh, shut up. I can't stand you.
It looks like a circle salute. This is like... It is a circle salute. Here, I have the video. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
That's a big crowd.
Good idea.
संकल्प लेते हैं कि शपथ लेते हैं कि आज से हम हिंदू किसी भी मुसलमान दुकानदार से
They said Musalman. I heard Musalman.
किसी भी मुसलमान दुकानदार से
They're giving an oath not to serve Muslims? All these people are gathered here doing a circle salute and giving an oath not to serve Muslims. This is so.
Well, and also to boycott them in terms of to not buy goods from anyone until you've ascertained their religion.
Unbelievable. Like, guys, like imagine a whole bunch of white nationalists in like United States, a crowd this big, gathering and doing a salute and saying like they're going to boycott like Muslims and not serve them or anything like that. Like this is a crowd. They're making an oath about Muslims. This is a nightmare. What the hell is this? This is a nightmare. I mean, the whole world would be like erupting right now. Every single news outlet would be covering this if this was happening, like something like this is Nashville, right? This is like India's Nashville moment, right? Like, why is this not like headline news?
Oh,
everywhere?
you mean like the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville?
Yeah. Oh, Charlottesville. What did I say?
You said Nashville.
Oh, Charlottesville. Sorry. It's America. I don't know. It's not my country. It's not my country. I don't know what names are. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. This is like Charlottesville. Okay. Like, but bigger. Like, look at this. Except instead of the Jews, they're talking about Muslims. Guys, if this was happening by white nationalists in United States, Canada, Australia, or anywhere in Europe, this would be headline news right now everywhere. Oh my God. This is like
there's like kids.
There's like kids, guys. This is even worse. Like in Charlottesville, they had tiki torches, right? These are doing this. They're doing a salute. Like this is like they're doing salute. I mean, I know like people are saying this is not the same salute that they did in Germany, but I mean, come on, look how bad this looks. This is horrible. I mean, if we think like we're being too hung up over the optics because the salute looks like what they did in like Germany in World War II. Again, Yahtzee, Germany. I'm not going to say the word because YouTube. But then listen to what they're saying. I mean, just like the
that
words,
also doesn't help.
That does, like, if you think the optics is not like the optics doesn't mean much to you, then just listen to what they're saying. Look at this kid. Oh wait, okay. Look at the end.
जीवन पर्यंत पालन करेंगे भारत माता की जय बोलिए जय जय श्री राम जय जय श्री राम आप उठा करके बोलेंगे मुट्ठी बांध कर बोलेंगे जय जय श्री राम जय जय श्री राम जय जय श्री राम एक ही नारा जय श्री राम जय श्री राम एक ही नारा जय श्री राम जय श्री राम.
So what are the chants at the end? Jai Shri Ram, I know, means long live Ram, which is a Hindu god. The seventh, again, I keep forgetting the reincarnation of Vishnu, right? Seventh or eighth? I think it was seventh. But anyways, Rama, long live seventh, yeah, long live Lord Rama. But what was the first chant that they made? It seemed like it was something about a Hindu state, no?
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram.
No.
No,
I think it's just Jai Shri Ram. It's just oh, here another one. Jai Shri Ram. Okay. It's about long live Rama. Oh yeah. So Parvati, was that Parvati? Did they just say Parvati? I don't know. Anyways, never mind. But guys, in case that a lot of people think like this has nothing to do with religion, you know how when. No, I'm just happy that they're like at the end they're also saying long live Rama, like just to make sure that this is Hinduism,
Yeah.
right? Because you know how a lot of times like some really radical crimes happens by a Muslim, and they like the guy is like shouting Allah Akbar, and then some people are like, this has nothing to do with Islam, and we were like, oh yeah, he was just like shouting Allah Akbar because like I don't know why, like like how people make fun of that, like how could you say this has nothing with Islam? The guy is literally shouting Allah Akbar while he's doing this. So we should do the same thing with this, right? People who say this has nothing to do with Hinduism, I'm glad that they end it with like saying Jai Shri Ram, just to make it clear, yeah, that this is absolutely Hinduism.
Well, it's already pretty clear.
Oh, Victor, Sorry. It's victory to Rom, not Jai means victory, not long live. Okay, victory.
Yeah,
Rom.
or it's just like hail Lord
Yeah.
Rom. So the good news is that at least this is being investigated by the police, and they're looking into this. I mean, everyone is always very pessimistic and saying, well, nothing's going to happen, but I can at least say that they are probing this. What's interesting is, so apparently this was prompted by like a brawl that happened between two villages, and the details were never really fleshed out in any report that I was reading about this. Like, they were saying that I have to read between the lines, right? Because it's not very clear. So it sounded like there was a group that came from one village to another village, and this group, and this is based off of my own powers of deduction, likely a group of Muslims who like burst into this person's house. Like, I don't even know what it was about, like assaulted some people, including like this niece. There was maybe some sort of like official involved in the group that did the assaulting. And then afterwards, these people were granted bail, and that caused like a huge outcry and huge protest, and then eventually ended up in like this public oath taking. And so I wanted to highlight this because there's been I've been reading a lot about how there's been calls for like economic boycotts of Muslims before, but it's usually not this bold, and it's usually not this just on its face, like so obvious. And I've also been reading over time how there are many policies and more state sanctioned stuff that has the overall long-term chilling economic effect of directly targeting Muslims, whether it's extra restrictions on the beef industry or restrictions on street vendors. And but that's much more overarching. It's something that happens slowly, and it's not something that's as obvious. But this is as bold and in your face as it gets. And I thought that it was worthy of highlighting this because it is indicative of a larger trend. But like I said, usually it's not this obvious.
Yeah. Thank you for all that detail. That was great. I was busy banning some spam while you were saying that in the lecture. Anyways, can we? Yes, they do. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes, we can. Next news. Atheist Republic launches African language content, Afrikaans, and Sesotho. Wait, no. Sesotho. Sorry.
What? Afrikaans and what languages?
Sesotho.
Sesotho. So Afrikaans and Sesotho, two languages. Where are they?
Yes.
Where are these languages spoken in?
So Afrikaans is one of the 11 official languages of South Africa, and so it's primarily centered in South Africa because it's kind of a derivative of Dutch. Like, if you listen to it, we can listen to a beginning of this, and it sounds very much like Dutch. And Sesotho is another one of the official languages of South Africa, and it's also spoken in Lesotho and Zimbabwe, I believe. I don't know how much in Zimbabwe, but I do know it is also in Zimbabwe. So I'm excited to share that we're now offering non-English content for African atheists in local languages.
Nice.
So this is pushed forward primarily by Dean Kruger of Atheist Republic, Cape Town. Amazing member of our community. And I love that he pushes forward stuff like this. So we already have our first episode in Afrikaans on our channel, the Atheist Republic Cape Town channel. And filming tomorrow will be the first episode in Sesotho. So that will be released soon. And I'm hoping that soon that they'll start streaming these directly to the YouTube channel, because right now you can, if you're a member of the different consulates in South Africa, they stream the episodes first to the directly to the Facebook groups in the consulates. And so yes, this is very exciting. There's a lot of excitement about offering programming for African atheists in local languages, and they're hoping to branch out and to provide more and more languages. So Dean is the host for Afrikaans, and we have another local Atheist Republic member, Bolelang, who is going to be the host of the Sesotho content. And like I said, that's going to be released very soon.
Okay, let's listen to a little bit. I want to see what it sounds like. Wait, I don't have audio. Hold on. Unmute.
Jy weet, ek dink soos enige goeie storie moet 'n mens maar net 'n bietjie agtergrond skep en
Is this
dan
Afrikaans?
detail invul van jy weet hoe die huis van kaarte uit.
Oh, they look like they're having fun. They look like they're having
Ek
a lot
dink
of fun.
toe hy so van die huisjuder praat, besef ek die huisjuder daar van praat en die huisjuder hier sit te sê en toe ek besef ek glo nie meer in hierdie goed te hê. Toe ek net besef nee.
Guys, go subscribe to the channel, okay, and recommend this to anybody who speaks this language. They're called Atheist Republic Cape Town, so please recommend this to anybody that might be interested. This is great. So we have our Arabic channel is now picking up, and now we have our Cape Town channel is also picking up. We should like highlight some the Arabic channels new content next week as well, because
Yes,
there's
that's an
video. Yeah. Guys,
wait, I wanted to give a particular shout out. So let me find it really quickly. So Dean has been getting some amazing guests recently. So a lot of the content is, even though we have some content that's obviously going to be in Afrikaans and some that's going to be in Sesotho, there is a lot of content that is primarily in English. So even if you're not a South African, you can still access this content. And so one of them is, for example, man, I wish I could find it, the full name of the guy, but Dean recently hosted an episode with this doctor who's known for the Hammurabi's Code, which hasn't been uploaded yet, but I know that it's coming soon. So make sure to subscribe to the Atheist Republic Cape Town Consulate channel, and to be the first to hear about all this awesome content that's coming out. Yeah, like Dean also interviews like Sarah Kay, Leo Igwe.
They had a meeting with Sarah Kay. That's great.
Because she's an African atheist too.
Yes, of course. I'm so proud. We had Sarah Kay on our African channel. That's so great. Yes, I mean, how could you not have Sarah Kay when you have a channel dedicated to Africa? Like, obviously, like that would be the guest to go to. So fantastic. This is great. This is beautiful. Wow, I'm so proud. That's so great.
Yeah, it's real. Oh, thank you. Secular Rarity is helping me out. Yes, thank you. So Dean recently interviewed Dr. Josh Bowen, and I saw a little preview of it on the consulates, behind the scenes, because I'm in the consulates. And so that should be going up on the channel soon. So tune in for a really good discussion with Dr. Josh Bowen of the Hammurabi Code.
Vikram is saying, is Sarah Kay African? Yes, yes.
She was born in Tanzania.
Yes. Yes, she is. I mean, technically, we're all African. So, technically. It's true.
I love that legendary short with Richard Dawkins. Do you know it? It's like we are all Africans.
Yes.
Oh,
well, I mean, that's a famous short. Yeah. Okay, cool. That was great. That was a great way to end. This is so heartwarming. I love it. Okay, cool. Anything you want to add before we go?
No, I'm just so excited, and I'm proud of our community for doing stuff like this.
See, wait, you have to do the meme. I'm so proud of our community. Do you know that's a meme?
I'm so proud of everything we've accomplished.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Make sure you do not leave. You are not allowed to leave. It's illegal in every single country in the world for you to leave our videos without liking. Okay, this is officially the law. Okay, just check it. Like every country, this is the only
This is
thing
the
that
law of
every country.
Atheist Republic.
No, yeah, but go check the laws of your land. It is like you cannot like leave right now without actually liking the video. Okay, you will be hunted down. Like the police will show up at your door. Okay, so no, I'm not doing it. I'm just saying the police will show up. Okay, this is, by the way, this is not legal advice. Talk to your talk to a lawyer about this. Okay, but just to be safe, just make sure you like this video before you leave, just to be on the safe side. Okay, I'm not sure exactly if that's a law, but why take a risk? Make sure it doesn't take any effort. You just tap the like button very lightly and it changes color, and that's all you have to do, and it makes our channel grow. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay. Oh, great. Good job. Wow, look, our tactics, our threats are working, Susanna. We should threaten them
wait,
more often.
really quickly. I'm just gonna call this person Ego because I don't know how to pronounce this, but Ego is asking, what about a Spanish channel? We would love to have a Spanish channel, but we just don't have a host for it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been a
reach out
long-term
to-
goal of ours to have Spanish content, but you know, we just I mean I speak a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to host content about it.
And okay, and guys, if for people who are feeling that they're financially very secure, okay, but not for anybody else, you could also become a patron. Link is in the description. You can support our channel with as little as $1 a month if you set the limit right. And do not support us financially. Do not support us financially if you're struggling. It's not allowed. You are not allowed to support us financially if you're struggling, even a tiny bit, okay? And subscribe to our newsletter. That one is free, and you get a lot of free gifts, okay? It's not only free, you also get free stuff on top of it. You get my book, which is a bestseller, Why There's No God, for free if you subscribe to our newsletter. And you also get a lot of our blasphemous art for free, okay? And so if you subscribe to our newsletter. So link to that is also in the description. All right, so thank you guys.
It's a goal that if we reach like 500 patrons, that we'll start translating a lot of our content into languages like Spanish.
Right, guys, get us to 500 patrons and we'll start our translating some of our content to other languages.
We want to translate to Spanish, Malay, Arabic.
Yeah. Arabic,
but we already have a
Urdu.
lot of Persian content.
Yeah. Urdu.
Yeah.
Turkish, maybe. We'll decide. We'll let the patrons decide. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone, and talk to you. What does this mean?
This is just asking, like, subscribe to the Atheist Republic channel in Spanish.
In Spanish. Okay, great. Okay, thank you for that. All right. Bye, guys. See you next week. Yes. Bye.
Bye.